The 6 terrifying recent archaeological discoveries that even the bravest scientists fear. Welcome back to Ancient History, the place where we dive deep into unsolved mysteries, from the bottom of the ocean to the depths of the earth. Today, I'm going to take you on a journey to explore 6 archaeological discoveries that will give you goosebumps just hearing about them. Think archaeology is all about bones, pottery, and a few boring ancient inscriptions? Well, this video will make you think twice, because some recent excavations have stunned scientists, even those with tons of experience and nerves of steel, leaving them speechless and in some cases, downright terrified. From mummies so unusually well preserved they look almost alive, to bizarre artifacts that make anyone who sees them shudder. There are even tombs sealed for thousands of years, and the moment they're opened, a series of unexplainable phenomena begin to occur. Even scarier, many of these discoveries challenge the very foundations of historical knowledge that humanity has long taken for granted. Some objects seem harmless at first glance, but after detailed analysis, they raise a slew of chilling questions. Did this really come from ancient times? Or is it from a civilization no one even knows about? Sounds intriguing, right? So don't take your eyes off the screen, because right now, we're about to count down the top 6 most terrifying archaeological finds ever uncovered, and trust me, you'll never look at archaeology the same way again. Now, let's get started with the first discovery. The frozen mummy on Mount Aado reveals a horrifying crime. In life, sometimes we have to spend a huge amount of time, effort, and money just to find a tiny clue. But other times, a sudden cold wind or an unexpected thaw is enough to turn history upside down. The story of the mummy Momia Juanita, also known as the Ice Maiden of Mount Aado, is the most vivid proof of this. In 1995, on a freezing September day in the majestic Andes Mountains, archaeologist Johann Reinhard and his assistant Miguel Zarate were conducting a seemingly ordinary terrain survey. Then, in a chance moment, the snow began to melt, and from the highest peak of Mount Aado, a strange object slid down the slope as if awakened by time itself. It was a nearly perfectly preserved mummy, wrapped tightly in Inca cloth. It was as if this girl, resting peacefully for hundreds of years, had decided to return to the modern world in a way no one expected. Immediately, Reinhard and Zarate knew they had discovered something incredibly valuable, but they didn't touch the mummy right away. It wasn't until they returned to the mountain in October of the same year, this time better prepared, that they found not only Momia Juanita, but also 2 other mummies lying lower down the slope, revealing that this site was once a sacred Inca sacrificial place. So, who was Momia Juanita, and why was she taken to the mountaintop to become an offering to the gods? After thorough analysis, scientists have partially unraveled this mystery. They believe this girl was the victim of an important sacrificial ritual called capacocha, a ceremony usually performed at special times, such as after the death of an emperor, or when the Incas wanted to appease the gods to ensure good harvests or avoid natural disasters. According to Inca beliefs, only the best of the best, the healthiest and purest, were worthy offerings to the gods. Momia Juanita, with her perfect health and appearance, was chosen. It sounds like an honor, but in reality, it was a tragedy for a girl who was only in her early teens. What amazed scientists even more was how well the mummy was preserved for hundreds of years, thanks to the harsh cold climate on Mount Aado. This preservation allowed them to perform isotope analysis on her hair, and that revealed a shocking truth. Momia Juanita had been prepared for sacrifice about a year before her death. Wondering how they knew that? It's because of a change in her diet. Before being chosen, she ate like any ordinary person, mostly potatoes and vegetables. But once selected, her diet shifted to meat and corn, foods reserved only for the noble class at the time. This proves that the capacocha ritual wasn't a spontaneous act, but carefully planned, possibly lasting for many months. What's more, Momia Juanita wasn't just an ordinary set of ancient remains. She was buried with numerous valuable items, from small clay figurines and seashells to gold objects. All were carefully wrapped with her, like travel essentials for her journey to the afterlife. A heartbreaking level of preparation, isn't it? But beyond that, the story of Momia Juanita not only sheds light on ancient Inca customs, but also raises many questions about faith, religion, and human sacrifice. Does offering a living person truly please the gods? Or is it just a way for humans to comfort themselves? What do you think? If one day, when the snow melts and history awakens, how many more secrets are waiting to be told? I honestly can't imagine. Just talking about it gives me chills. The deadly liquid in the 1,000-year-old princess's tomb. The tomb of a royal princess over 1,000 years old hides not only history, but also a deadly liquid. Just hearing that gives you chills, doesn't it? The story begins in 1986, when archaeologists were excavating in eastern Inner Mongolia, Autonomous Region, China. During a geological survey, they unexpectedly discovered an ancient royal tomb buried deep underground, covered by time and mystery. After thorough research, experts confirmed that this was the tomb of Princess Liao Chengguo, a princess from the Khitan Liao dynasty who lived more than 1,000 years ago. Do you remember the Liao dynasty? It lasted from 907 to 1125 in China. It was a period with very limited historical records. So, uncovering this tomb essentially opened a huge door for historians to better understand the Khitan Liao dynasty, once considered one of the powerful forces in northern China. Of course, what stunned people wasn't just the age of the tomb, but also the secrets inside the coffin. When experts carefully lifted the embroidered silk cloth covering the princess's body, they were horrified to find a strange liquid leaking out. It turned out that it wasn't water or any kind of preserving oil like in the movies. It was pure mercury. At this point, many of you are probably shivering. That's right, mercury is extremely toxic. Just inhaling a large amount of mercury vapor can cause convulsions, poisoning, or even immediate death. It's incredibly dangerous. Because of this, experts had to retreat immediately, suit up in protective gear, and only then dared to approach the coffin again. But it was precisely the large amount of mercury sealed inside the coffin that kept the princess's body nearly perfectly preserved after more than 1,000 years. A discovery that astonished the entire archaeological community. However, the surprises didn't stop there. Next to the princess, they also found the body of a man, later identified as her husband. This was a very special detail, because in ancient China, it was rare for a husband to be buried with his wife unless it was a concubine buried with an emperor. According to the tomb inscription, Princess Liao Chengguo died at the age of 18 from a sudden illness, only 2 years after marrying a man who was 10 years older than her. She was dearly loved by her father, the king, which is evident in how her title changed multiple times, from Princess Taiping to Princess Yueguo. Perhaps that's why her tomb was designed with exquisite craftsmanship, filled with valuable treasures and burial goods. As you know, the tombs of the Liao emperors have all suffered severe damage over time, making Princess Liao Chengguo's tomb an invaluable heritage, a missing piece in the historical puzzle of the Khitan Liao dynasty. It also stands as a clear testament to love, power, and the mystery of a civilization long buried by time. Truly impressive, isn't it? 60 mummies found in 2 tombs, 20 feet deep in Luxor, Egypt. If you think ancient Egypt is only about towering pyramids or a few giant stone statues, then a recent discovery in Luxor will definitely change your mind. Spanish researchers have just announced an astonishing archaeological find. 2 ancient tombs nearly 20 feet deep containing about 60 mummies, all located within the burial complex of Amenhotep Hui, a powerful vizier who served under Pharaoh Amenhotep III, around 1390 to 1352 BC. What amazed archaeologists wasn't just the number of mummies, but their location. These 2 tombs connect directly to Amenhotep Hui's main tomb, showing a special relationship between those buried there and one of the most influential officials of that era. According to Francisco J. Martin, director of the Ancient Egyptian Research Institute in Madrid and head of the excavation team, many of these mummies are still in remarkably good condition, allowing anthropologists to study ancient Egyptian funeral customs and beliefs in depth. Experts determined that the mummies belonged to about 60 individuals, most of whom were from the upper class. This means the tomb wasn't just reserved for Amenhotep Hui himself, but also served as a secret cemetery for people closely connected to him, especially high-ranking priests serving at the Karnak Temple, the center of worship for Amun, one of ancient Egypt's most powerful gods. However, one unusual detail has raised many questions among archaeologists. Unlike Amenhotep Hui's tomb, which is intricately carved and decorated, these two tombs holding the 60 mummies have no inscriptions or elaborate designs at all. This simplicity suggests a clear social hierarchy in ancient Egypt. Even though those buried here were high-status individuals, they could not compare to the prestige held by the powerful vizier. It's a vivid example showing that even in death, differences in power and rank were reflected in the details of one's resting place. Notably, this is not the first time the Amenhotep Hui excavation project has surprised the world. Over the past 15 years, the team has uncovered more than 200 well-preserved mummies and numerous valuable artifacts. Among them are exquisitely decorated coffins engraved with images of the god Amun, one of the most sacred symbols in ancient Egyptian culture. Thanks to these artifacts, we gain deeper insights into the beliefs, rituals, and everyday life of the people from that era. Today, many of these items are on display at the Luxor Museum, making it a must-see destination for tourists and international scholars alike. Just imagine standing before coffins thousands of years old, admiring every delicate carving. I believe you'll truly feel the grandeur of a civilization that once ruled a vast land. 2,000-year-old red remains in the horrific tragedy at the foot of Mount Vesuvius. When it comes to the most haunting historical mysteries in the world, the story of the Mount Vesuvius disaster undoubtedly tops the list. Did you know that nearly 2,000 years ago, a violent eruption of this volcano turned an entire region into a sea of ash and molten lava? Not only was the town of Pompeii buried, but the nearby town of Herculaneum also suffered a tragic fate. Over decades of archaeological excavations, researchers have uncovered countless valuable artifacts, but one discovery stands out: a set of strangely red-colored human remains, remarkably preserved after nearly 2 millennia. These remains belong to a man aged approximately 40 to 45, a victim of that catastrophic natural disaster. What makes this set of remains entirely unique compared to other findings is the vivid red color on the bones, a hue no one expected could endure for so long. Experts spent considerable time studying this phenomenon and discovered that the cause was not natural minerals or soil, but the man's own blood. During the eruption, as blazing lava and ash cascaded down like a flood, this man was struck on the head by a collapsing wooden roof, crushing his skull before being engulfed in the fiery deluge. His blood did not simply flow out as it normally would. Instead, the extreme heat caused it to dry and form a natural dye that coated the bones, preserving their striking red color to this day. Beyond its rare coloration, this set of remains tells a poignant story of life and death in its final moments. Perhaps this man was desperately trying to flee the volcano, or maybe he was a soldier attempting to rescue others. The location where his body was found, near the shoreline, even suggests he was tantalizingly close to escaping the horrific disaster, only to be overtaken by a cruel twist of fate. Looking at these vivid red remains, can you feel the fear, the pain, and the tragic end of a life from so long ago? This discovery is the most vivid testament to the ruthless power of nature, showing that no matter how much time passes, such disasters leave indelible marks. We are fortunate today to have the opportunity to see, learn from, and reflect on these historical artifacts. They help us better understand the past while reminding us to always respect and remain vigilant of nature's might. No matter how far humanity advances, nature remains a force we cannot underestimate. What do you think about the story of these extraordinary remains? Does it send chills down your spine or spark any thoughts? Share your opinions in the comments below. A stunning treasure from a 4,000-year-old Middle Eastern beauty's tomb. You know, when people hear the word treasure in ancient tombs, they usually think of gold, silver, jewels, or valuable artifacts. But this time, the treasure is a lipstick, an item very familiar to women today, yet it had been resting quietly underground for nearly 4,000 years. Sounds unbelievable, right? But the lipstick excavated in the city of Jiroft in southeastern Iran is living proof of this fascinating story. The journey to discover this lipstick began in 2001, when a massive flood on the Halil River swept away layers of soil and rock, revealing burial grounds dating back to the 3rd millennium BCE. The raging waters accidentally pushed the lipstick and other burial items close to the surface, giving archaeologists a rare chance to uncover this priceless treasure. Although many artifacts were lost due to theft during this natural excavation, the lipstick was fortunately preserved. And here's the astonishing part. This lipstick was not just a simple cosmetic. After decades of study, scientists determined it to be nearly 4,000 years old, dating back to about 1936 BCE, which means it predates the famous ancient Egyptian civilization. With such an age, this lipstick stands as a symbolic invention of the ancient Middle Eastern civilization, a testament to the sophistication and appreciation of beauty from so long ago. What could be more fascinating than knowing that the lipstick inside still holds its brilliant reddish-orange color, sparkling with a shimmering glow as if it was made yesterday? It's truly miraculous that a makeup product from nearly 4,000 years ago remains so intact. Researchers analyzed the lipstick's composition and found it included hematite, a bright red mineral oxide, finely ground and mixed with other minerals like manganite and braunite. To create that shimmering effect, they even added finely crushed quartz particles. Moreover, traces of plant fibers were found inside the container, likely used to add fragrance to the lipstick, a thoughtful and intimate detail. Here's another interesting fact. The reddish-orange shimmer of this lipstick is currently very trendy in today's beauty world. So, for thousands of years, ancient aesthetic tastes have been in sync with modern times, proving that beauty is truly timeless. Not only is the lipstick itself remarkable, but the container is also a masterpiece. It was made from smooth chlorite stone, crafted to imitate the shape of native reed containers that grow in marshes. This bottle was not only practical, but also exquisitely designed, reflecting the skilled hands of ancient artisans. Although the exact tomb where this lipstick was found remains unknown, ancient records reveal that it was an essential item for women in ancient Iran. The intact tomb of ancient Roman athletes. Europe is renowned for countless ancient tombs scattered across its historically rich lands, but not every discovery brings such fascinating and unique stories as this one. Recently, in Case Ross, a little-known area west of Rome, almost never included in usual archaeological routes, workers accidentally uncovered an extremely rare ancient tomb. What makes this discovery special is not only that the tomb was almost perfectly preserved, but also that it is believed to be the final resting place of the pharaoh place of Roman athletes from over 2,300 years ago, during the early years of the Roman Republic. The story began when a bulldozer, leveling the ground for an underground construction project, unexpectedly revealed the entrance to a subterranean tomb. Archaeologists quickly arrived and confirmed this was no ordinary grave, but rather the tomb of the athletes, where 4 individuals were buried: 3 middle-aged men and 1 woman whose exact age remains unclear. The initial findings thrilled researchers because the tomb was located in an unexpected spot and contained precious artifacts that reflect the lifestyle and culture of early Rome. Based on a coin found next to the skeletons, archaeologists dated the tomb to between 335 and 312 BCE, a time when the Roman Republic was beginning its expansion and rapid development. The distinctive coin bore the image of the goddess Minerva's head on one side and a horse's head on the other, accompanied by the inscription Romano. This coin became compelling evidence not only for dating the tomb, but also for understanding the social status of the people buried there. Additionally, a large amount of leftover food in containers holding items such as rabbit, lamb, goat, and chicken were discovered, indicating that these individuals were well cared for with diverse and nutritious meals, reflecting their wealth and power. The most notable artifacts were 2 curved tools called strigils, common body cleaning instruments used in ancient Roman baths. Athletes used strigils to scrape away sweat, dirt, and excess oils after training and competitions. The presence of these tools buried alongside the deceased strongly suggests that these were indeed real athletes, a distinct group in Roman society, respected for their important roles. The quality of the glazed pottery found in the tomb also confirmed that these individuals belonged to the upper class or privileged social strata, possibly athletes with high social standing or even sports officials during ancient Rome. Currently, researchers are conducting DNA tests to clarify the familial relationships among the buried individuals. They are also studying pollen and plant remains to reconstruct the ancient ecosystem of the area. Laser scanning technology is being applied to create detailed maps of the entire archaeological site, aiming to uncover further potential relics. What's especially interesting is the tomb's location. Case Ross was once a site of intense volcanic activity, resulting in porous soil that was less affected by farming or urban development over the centuries, helping preserve the tomb nearly intact. Previously, when constructing the San Giovanni subway station nearby, remnants of a wealthy ancient Roman city were also uncovered. indicating that this land was once a prosperous cultural and economic center. This newly found tomb not only offers vivid evidence of sports and cultural life in early Rome, but also marks the beginning of deeper explorations into the history of Western Rome, a once-forgotten area now revealing countless mysteries waiting to be solved. This event once again proves that history always holds surprises, and every archaeological discovery helps us better understand the lives, societies, and people of past eras. Today, experts worldwide are turning their attention to Case Ross, eagerly awaiting the next secrets to be unveiled from the Tomb of the Athletes, a place where history, sports, and the legendary culture of ancient Rome intersect. Dear friends, so we've just explored 6 amazing archaeological discoveries together. Which one impressed you the most? Share your thoughts down in the comments below, and don't forget to give us a like and subscribe to the channel so you'll be the first to watch our newest videos. For now, goodbye and see you next time.